Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was going to get that ace-9 of spades, but
let's do a point. Let's not play for rolls. Let's just do points-based system, and then loser does a forfeit.
Jack, could I just ask you a question about the last hand as well? I know it didn't work out this way, but what would be your 3-betting range pre? That deep, 60 bigs deep.
60 bigs big blind versus early position.
Like, do you have any bluffs here or?
Yeah, I mean, I bluff fairly often here. I mean, this guy's like, I mean, if the guy's one of the aggro dudes at the table, then for sure we can start putting some bluffs in. I mean, the thing is, he should be. I don't know if he's aggro good or not, or just aggro, but he should be opening fairly tight in this specific situation, given that we're in the big blind. He has 112 big blind stacked behind, which should make him slightly tighter opening, but not that much. And he is also early position, so like you're looking at a fairly strong range. I think when you're 65, the chances of you getting 4-bet go down a lot. Those 65 big blinds effective. His 4-betting range is just going to become really, really small. So I'd probably start 3-betting stuff like King Queen suited, Ace Queen suited. That's sort of high equity hands that just want to put more money in the pot. Because I don't expect him to really 4-bet ever. So I want to just like start 3-betting for value a lot more.
Okay, so you're 3-betting linear in this spot then?
More linear, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
This hand could be a candidate, but I almost never get 9-8 suited in the mix. It's just too nice of a calling hand.
So another of these bread and butter spots. Ace-5 off. Flop the.
What do you think to the open here? Are we happy with that? Given
question.
Given our stack size, that we cover all of these guys with the ace blocker, but it is on the looser side, right, Jack?
A little bit wide, I think.
Yeah, I'm fairly tight with the offsuit aces in general.
You get carried away.
I mean, I find they just play pretty badly whenever you get flattered in position. Like,
right, yeah.
You know, you just end up being in a really a spot where you can never value bet effectively, and it's harder to find good boards to bluff with ace high. But I mean, in this spot, I probably would open this hand. I mean, it's a 109 with at least we're hijack, and our friend Hercules has been chopped down to 23. He can't really. I mean, he can jam on us, but well, actually, that's probably a reason actually not to open this. I think if Hercules had still had 40 big blinds, it'd be a little bit better even. But yeah, I think for sure in a 109, it's absolutely fine to open this hand.
Okay.
I think I factored in that the table was a decent table overall, and it's probably not a standard. Like if I had good players behind me, I'd definitely be put off opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check.
Yeah, I wouldn't open this in a high roller, but I think in the half price milli, it's probably good.
Good stuff. So the big blind checks. Is this similar to the 6 high board before, or not, Jack? When it comes to big blind leading.
Yeah, I mean it's basically exactly the same, right? Like, there's a distinction with the big blind defending with the boards when you're against the big blind. Some of them will have 3 low cards, but there's no made straight on the board, and other times there's a made straight, and that makes a difference to the leading range. But I'm not going to spend too much time on it because no one leads anyway. I'm guessing he checks, right? He's already checked.
Yeah, he's already checked.
Yeah. I mean, he should be leading this board a lot as well, but he isn't. Nobody does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, and that should make you check back even more than you would anyway, which is already a high check back frequency. So in these spots, I just check back pretty much close to range. This hand is like one of the better c-betting candidates, but I still think it's got too much going for it with the check back to really start c-betting.
Okay.
What about the argument that we get game like protection versus like
King 10 or something?
Yeah, lots of hands that can turn a pair.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And the problem here is like you are going to get check raised on this board at a reasonably high frequency, and that's really not good for this hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a double gutter, which
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just bet call here, so maybe it's not too bad. I kind of thought it was a gutter for a second there, but so maybe you could just bet call here is okay.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I would normally definitely bet with this specific hand, but I think that something that I've learned tonight is, on these type of boards have a pretty much what seems to be a very, very high check back. And Jack, can you just clarify for my own personal preference? Are you betting or checking this now that you've seen it's a double gutter?
I think I would mix this in game. Like, I think the EV is just clearly very close. I think in general, when I see this board against a big blind defend, like my first instinct with any hand is to check, and then I need a pretty strong reason to bet from there. This hand specifically is one of the better ones to bet, so that's a pretty good reason. So, but it's like super slam dunk territory. So I think I would bet this hand, probably like half the time or so.
Okay.
Cool.
What sort of sizing are you going?
Yeah, I think you could bet pretty big here. Actually, I think you could go like 4 big blinds or so.
Because we're just not betting that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to put his ace highs under pressure here. Like ace 10 or so, where if you bet small, you can just check call. And like a hand like pocket twos, maybe a 3. Like if you bet large, it's going to be hard for him to continue with his hands. It also makes it harder for him to check raise.
Yeah.
And you're just repping a narrower range, like with more overpairs that want to bet big. So you want to bet big with your bluffs as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we see
Yeah,
a
so
small
I've done my
bet.
standard C bet, but I totally agree with what you just said about going bigger.
Yeah.
And cool. So I guess by betting small, we do keep his range fairly wide. Going into the turn.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
it's
the
fine.
8
You still get folds from all the random overcard hands.
Yeah.
You still, as I say, like getting, the thing about getting check raised, like people still don't check raise that much. I mean, when I'm in the big blind on this board and someone bets this size, I'm like check raising like half the time or so, because it's just such a weak bet. Like, I don't think you would really bet this size with an overpair. Like, do you? Do you honestly think that you would bet this size if you had aces here?
No.
Yeah, probably.
Jack, to protect that check back range, are you going to check back some strong hands there as well, like aces and kings?
No, not really in practice. I mean, it's you can just check back, any worse pair, some ace highs and stuff, and just call with them. You don't really need to add in very strong hands. The reason to check back aces and kings on this board is if you think your opponent's going to check raise bet at a really high frequency, just to because you have to fold these hands. But I don't really see people doing that at these levels, so I would be pretty confident to just always bet over pairs on this board, just because there's so much value in it.
Cool.
Check backs, you can check back like a 4, 5s, 6s, the occasion, a few 7s here and there, and you're going to have enough hands that can call turn, call river, that like you're not going to be getting exploited with your check back range.
Okay.
I mean, you will be a little bit, but this board is so massively in favor of the big blind that you're supposed to lose on it more often.
Yeah.
In the big blind shoes, Jack, are you and what are you doing with a hand like Queen Jack of Diamonds or Queen Jack of Clubs? Or Queen Jack of
I'd be
Spades?
leading this swap.
Be leading it, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I lead this board at a very high frequency from the big blind, as you're supposed to. The hijack player just can't defend very well against it, because you have all the 5-6, all the 4-3, all the 7-4, some 7-3, 3s, 4s. You just have a really strong range, and on so many turn cards, like even strong hands of the hijack player just can't continue. So you want to bet this board at a pretty high frequency, any sort of gutter and a lot of overcards and backdoor stuff.
Okay. And what
I
sort
won't
of sizing?
always bet like a hand like Queen Jack suited because it's obviously a pretty terrible hand on this board.
Yeah.
But as an exploitative strategy, I would bet it against a lot of people.
Right. Are you going for a big sizing like you would in the hijack shoes or a small?
Normally I just go eight size. The reason being, you don't really need to bet big to put a lot of pressure on, but also the small lead on this board just gets like 0 credit. So I just ended up sort of going halfway between the two and ended up being half pot, and it seems to work pretty well.
Okay.
But I could change that in the future. I'm not too confident about this way.
Whoever's got their keyboard mic turned up really loud, can you?
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah. All good. Okay, so the big blind check. See the 8 of hearts. Doobie, over to you.
Oh my god, I'm still thinking about my. Oh well, me.
No, we can hear you.
I just drifted off, and I was thinking about my laptop. So yeah, what happened on the flop? We went check.
No, you bet small.
Bet call.
Yeah.
Do you want us to ask someone else if you're still
No,
a little bit tilted by the MacBook?
No, I'm all right. I'm over it. Probably just gonna check here. It obviously caps us when we then see bet and then check the turn. I don't know. We might do it with with some overpairs. We might. I don't know what he's folding that he.
I mean, I know the flop obviously heavily favoured him anyway, but I think the turn interacts with his range more than ours.
Definitely, yeah.
Improves to 8-7, 8-4, 8-3. 5-6 is already there.
Isn't this is one of our only natural bluffs though, isn't it? To double barrel, like we're not betting 9-10 on the flop, so like, and we can have some value bets here. Like we still probably want to be betting aces and kings and queens. We got some sets. We got 5-6 suited, so we probably want to throw in the bluff or two. And this seems the most natural.
Seems good as a bluff as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
You do block 5-6 as well, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, you know, like I said, we have to have some bluffs in my, you know, is my understanding, but maybe that's an incorrect thought process. Jack, can you shed some light?
You don't have to have bluffs, but you know, sometimes you want to have 0% bluffs. I don't know about. I mean, in this spot, I would be inclined to just be like, he check called flop. I got a 5 YOLO. Let's you know, whatever, eight big blinds here, and then just shove river, because the best hand he can have at this point is 7-8, pretty much. So, I mean, I think his turn folding frequency is super low on this card, and that's kind of what you guys were all alluding to. Like, all of his pairs, or loads of his pairs now have a draw to go along with them. But think about it also, like, he only makes 2 pair with 7-8. Like, he can have 8-4 suited. You can have 8-4 and maybe 8-3 suited, but that's pretty rare. So really, he's going to have a very hard time calling down here. Most players just cannot bring themselves to check call 4-3 when you bet third pot on the flop, or 7-4 or 7-3, so or 5-7. Sorry, 5-6. So by this point, yeah, he's got a lot of hands that are going to check call the turn, but most of those hands are going to check fold the river. So I think I would be betting this turn just to, like, as, you know, sort of as a value bet, so that, because I just think he's going to fold the river so often that you're just printing money in that spot.
Wow.
Especially when you have a 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
here we go.
I like this.
Nice.
I did the opposite to what I said.
And
I mean, he's going to have a lot of 4x and 3x as well, which just folds turn, and, you know, hands like yours, which can't continue.
Yeah. So Spike was saying you have to fire a river if bet turn, yeah, and I think that's what we were.
Yeah,
what
for
we
sure.
just
This
said.
is a 3-barrel spot. Once you get to this turn and you decide to bet, you can't give up on the river and let him get there with 6-7.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Vinny?
Say that again.
This is your wheelhouse.
Vinny needs no encouragement to triple barrel. Right.
Thankfully, that didn't go to showdown, so I didn't make a mistake in showing Villain's hand. Okay, so we now see a 2.5x from the cutoff, and a big blind with 5-3 suited.
So this is a GTO 3-bet here.
Yeah, so that's what I was just about to say. This is exactly the hand that we talked about, like that I would be 3-betting. But since the, as I said, the other review, I'd probably just end up flatting this now in the last week or so.
I guess the stack size.
Yeah, so we're 60 big steep now. It's like
yeah, this becomes more of a 3-bet as opposed to like a ace-5 off or something.
Yeah, exactly. The problem when you're 3-betting like the offsuit, high card, low card offsuit is like now that you're deep stack, it becomes a real big problem to try and play at post flop. So in this spot, I much prefer a hand like this, or 4-5 suited or something as a bluff 3-bet.
Yeah, 7-6 suited or something.
Yeah, I mean, or something like king deuce suited, where it has some of the good qualities of the rag, the Broadway rag offsuit, but you have the little extra backup of being suited. For the times that you get 60 big blinds in. And really...
I'll bet $200 that DoobieFish does not 3-bet this hand.
Fold.
Yeah, not taking that.
Well, this is filtered for V-pipped hands, so we know that he plays it.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yes.
No, I was saying I fold.
That.
I'm saying I'm not taking the action. I didn't say that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I've got that.
If we're 3-betting here, are we going to like 10 bigs, Jack? Or even more?
Yeah, I think around 10 is good.
Okay.
I mean, hell, well, let's pump it up to 12, I think.
Okay.
So is this a spot where you're leading, Jack?
No, paired boards doesn't make as much sense. There's no completed draw here either. And if you had a strong hand here, you'd always be kept up as it. So leading makes basically no sense on this.
Okay.
Well done, Doobie, for checking. Cut off, checks back. We get to the turn. 4 of diamonds.
Seems like a clear bet on the turn now.
I feel like this has got to be a lead. Has to be a lead.
And a very, I think, maybe even inclined to go for an overbet here. Like, we have the best hand, like always. We're going to be betting. Yeah, exactly. And then we've probably got a pair, and we've got a ton of bluffs that we can fire. So I want to make it large. I kind of like overbet here personally on that double flush draw board.
Is that because you'd be betting that sizing with, you've got a ton of bluffs yourself here?
6, 7 of diamonds, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of spades and diamonds, and
yeah.
Well, I guess you'd be betting a lot of your range here, wouldn't you? Because he's pretty capped.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're uncapped.
Yeah, so you put a lot of pressure on this sort of ace-high checkbacks. I mean, do you think his ace-highs fold this turn card?
Yeah.
Like if you had like King Jack of Hearts here, for example, were you just leading this turn?
No, yeah. I'm not personally. No, I think we've got loads better hands, but it might be incorrect.
Okay.
But any gutter, like even ace highs, all the flush draws, all the random 3s that we've got, all the random 6s that we've got. Yeah, I think they make really good overbets.
I guess just to push back on that, the only downside to betting with the ace-x hands is that we block the kind of hands we want to apply pressure to.
Yeah, betting ace-x isn't amazing. It's not terrible. I think you just have so many bluffs on this turn card to choose from. You probably can just check ace-x here, because your opponent's going to check back a lot anyway, so you don't really need to start bluffing with ace-x here. Like I don't really see people checking back the flop here with king queen of clubs and then just being like, I guess I'll just start bluffing now for no reason.
Yeah.
It's typically just continue to be a little bitch on the turn and check it down. Yeah, I like the idea of going big. I think pot is enough and maybe a slight overbet.
Yeah.
I'd probably make it like 6.2.
Okay, we go for 2/3.
Yeah.
So there was a question in the chat. Spike said, I've just missed it now. He said about betting smaller with because we want a call, and what's the benefit of overbetting? But I think again we've talked about that, applying pressure. As obviously we have a lot of bluffs here, or we want to be able to bluff a lot. So the bigger we bet, the more bluffs we can have. So I think we've answered that. Okay, and
that seems like a good size Doobie.
Yeah, so we're saying we could go a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think it's nice. A little bigger, yeah, but yeah, decent.
Decent Doobie.
For a guy not three betting that pre, it's pretty decent.
There's also something nice about when you bet pot in that spot, and they were so happy about they just casually check back the ace high on the flop, and then you just pot bet into them on the turn.
Yeah.
And this is much better live because you can see the look on their face when they realize that they're just completely fucked. Like there's no part of their range that they can do anything about it.
I feel like you did that to me in the 5K.
Is that right?
Tim's got a few questions probably, haven't you?
Yeah, after the stream might be some hand breakdowns from the 5K day one table. Okay, Doobie opens here back to the 2.29 from late position.
This is too big.
Especially with
it's too big with the stacks behind. I just prefer me now.
Yeah, it should be a min-raise.
Yeah, you've probably gone up to like 23 tables now. Okay, your friend Hercules flats.
That's interesting.
Okay, he checks. Who wants to take it away on this flop?
Just thinking about sizing.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I think it's something that I'd say a lot of players just go with a standard sort of cheap bet of 2 big blinds, but we do induce him to shove worse hands for sure by doing that. We've got to think about the actual value of betting like 4 big blinds in this spot. Does it change his range? Obviously it does, but is that a benefit to to changing the sizing here? Doobie,
I feel like anything he's continuing with, he's probably going to call 4 big blind bet the same frequency as a 2 big blind bet, and or just check raise, get it in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether one sizing induces that more than the other. Potentially, I feel like I favour like a 4 big blind bet here, but just to see what everyone else
do you think
thinks.
his stack size plays a massive part here? Because I feel like if he's got
He's
six,
got 2x
six
pot
if he's got six, if he has 60 bigs as well, you want to put more money in with what is a strong hand, but somewhat vulnerable. And if you bet small, he's going to continue with a lot of his gut shots and maybe some backdoor flush draws. Whereas when he's got 20 bigs, is he in like stack preservation mode a little bit more? He's either just going to jam. He's not going to continue with a lot of those gut shots and weak hands. Whereas at 60 big blinds, obviously he would. What do you think about that?
I mean, maybe I'm not quite thinking it the same. I'm thinking that when we have a value hand here, whether we bet 2 or 4, we can still get stacks in quite comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be more inclined to bet smaller just because of the stack size that we face. I think if he's got 60 big blinds, I think I'd be more inclined to size up perhaps on this type of board.
Yeah,
I think it allows you to bluff for cheaper as well.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not worried about being balanced.
So I just think, then in which case, if you're not worried, I think that 2.5 on this is going to be fine. That's what I would go for personally in this spot.
Yeah, if we look at his stack size, we bet like 10 to 12% of his stack. We can still comfortably bet turn and jam river. So 2 big blinds work sort of mathematically as well. Jack, what are your thoughts?
I mean, just before Jack imparts wisdom, if we bet 4 big blinds and he calls on the turn, we've got a pot size back. So
yeah,
we could that sets that up quite nicely.
Yeah.
So with hands like Jack 10, that perhaps we're going to have to probably bet fold if it doesn't, if it's not Jack 10 of hearts, then that could be quite nice. Yeah, I
guess that leads us on to a whole thing like what sort of other hands are we betting here? I'm fairly confident the solvers like to check back top set here, blocking a lot of his continuing range. But yeah, Jack, what do you think?
I think there's merits to both sizings, and you could quite easily construct a 2 big blind betting range and a 4 big blind betting range. And I think that's probably what I would do in this spot. I don't think I would ever check back this flop realistically. Like, his defending range is just going to have enough check folds that you never really want to check back here. When you could just bet 2 big blinds. In terms of going for a 4 big blind sizing, you just want to it's basically hands that you can just bet, call, or shove with, and maybe just some complete trash, something like 6-8 of spades or something. Just balance it out a bit. You want to have some hands that you're bet folding, right?
Yeah, and just on that 6-8 of spades, sorry, just if pre-floppy, would you open that into 3-20 big blinds?
It's doubtful. Okay, let's just call it 8-9 of spades then. How's that?
I don't mean to be pernicious, it's just more to complete my knowledge, because, like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the 7 is a bit of an annoying card because it like removes a few of your the combos of trash you can have, right? But you know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I wasn't, calling you out, but I just wanted to understand myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can bet 2 big blinds and then size up a bit on the turn and then shove river. That's no problem. But there's not a lot of runouts where like you're actually really going to want to do that with Ace King. I mean, there's enough, but I think it's fine. And I think this hand can for sure fit into a 2 big blind range, 2 big blind betting range on this flop. But I think I would lean more towards the 4 big blind sizing here, and just go for the bet flop shove turn line.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, I was hoping he was going to shove and then we'd be able to bet on his hand, but unfortunately that isn't the case.
So, Gaz, just before we do one more hand, like just jackets. I know you're 3 hours ahead, and we're getting towards the end of the 90 minutes. So,
Okay.
I'm not sure, Gaz, if you're aware.
Yeah, I've got the clock running. I thought we had an extra 2 minutes just to be able to maybe do one more hand.
Let's hope we get to showdown and you don't click it so we can have a bet
Okay.
on the stream.
Make sure you don't go over those 2 minutes. Guys,
Okay,
or
well
I'll charge you for
it's
another hour.
definitely going to showdown. Well, I would imagine so. You definitely play this hand, Doobie. So
This is interesting.
Yeah.
FUGLIEE, what hand's going to put you on the spot here a little bit? What's the worst pair you get in this spot?
So again, what worst pair am I getting?
What's the worst pair?
What's the worst pair you get in?
I think I'm going tens.
I think
that.
I'd say tens.
Okay. I mean, if we think about his 3-bet jamming range, making it like if we simplify the problem, looking at the pairs that he shoves. So, like, does he shove 8s, 9s, 10s? Probably all of those. We don't know too much about Lucian, do we? Like, if you just had a table change, or is that guy, the other guy, busted?
They would change.
Busted.
Yeah, he must have busted, I think, because you got the two guys
busted.
next to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think do you think 8s is the bottom of his range of shoving? I mean, he could, if the guy's opening wide, he can shove, like, other pairs as well, but I'm just trying to sort of go with, like, an average here. So does that make 9s more of a call? 10s definitely a call. Jacks, slam dunk, high five the monitor. What about ace queen? HLZing, what are you doing with ace queen here?
I think I'd be inclined to flick in ace queen suited, but ace queen off I would probably would be a fold just because of edge in this tournament at this stage. And 66, big blinds is massively workable compared to 40. I think there's a significant difference. And with the, of course, with the original raiser behind.
Yeah, we're shoving through him, aren't we? So
Do we have a call fold range here, or is it just always like an all-in?
Yeah, so I think ace queen, for me, ace queen suited would probably be a good call range. And maybe we should just look at having just whatever hand we play, it kind of makes sense just to be a call, so that we don't end up in that exact spot. If we're rejamming kings, aces, it just makes sense. Then we can just make it maybe another pip. We can confidently call ace queen with knowing that we're not going to get completely fucked over when Lucien decides to shove it in.
But then does he shove more hands when we flat? And then
I feel like it looks pretty bladed when we flat here.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
call
Fair.
here. I'd be really uncomfortable if in Lucian's seat when we just call here. I don't know what I'm actually rejamming.
I think we can just call range here, right?
I like that.
Seems to make sense.
I just
me.
feel like putting a third of your stack in and then folding,
No, I hate that. Yeah, I absolutely hate that.
like with the bottom of that
Yeah, but with ace
bottom of your
queen
range.
suited, we're clearly
With Jack something.
yeah, but even with jacks.
Yeah, I mean we're not.
Then
I
we're
don't think we're folding
jams ace
jacks, are we?
kings, like,
Are we folding jacks
So-
in when we call here and the guy rips?
Yeah, I think so. With jacks, that would be probably just that would be it. I think queens I would call then call off,
Okay.
and jacks that would probably be call and then fold, although it's border on nitty. 10, I'm pretty happy to call and then fold to the rip.
Okay. Jack, thoughts on all of that?
I don't think you can realistically call and then fold here with
Yeah.
jacks or tens or ace queen suited. I think ace queen off is the one hand where you could possibly justify that. But the odds you'd be getting are just so good that like I think you'd be. I think you're just much better off shoving all those hands than call and then potentially folding. The thing is, like, it does look maybe a bit stronger when you call, but that's like not even that great, like for your overall range. Like, and you don't really want Lucian to like get confused and then overcall with like ace king or something, and then you're like playing a ridiculous pot situation out of position on the flop. I don't know. It could be okay to flat here, but I would just be shoving with this hand and with basically any hand that I want to go with. And maybe you could think about calling and then folding with ace queen off. But I think actually probably the best play with ace queen off is just to fold now, because like as you say, I mean I don't know how far through this tournament we are. It's 5K.
It's a long way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's miles to go.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you still got like a huge field to get through, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you want to be avoiding like too many edge pass situations, but certainly in this scenario, like you really don't want to get 66 big blinds in with tens or ace queen off, and you know it's like marginal even now, like against the buttons 3-bet shoving range. Jacks for sure you can't fold. Like I don't think there's any chance of folding jacks, and I think with the kind of way people play in these 109s, like you can't really fold tens here either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just picturing if this was the 5K last week and I've got tens here, I feel sick.
Yeah, of course. Like if you're in a live 5K, it's a completely different scenario. Like you can make a really nitty fold here,
Right, yeah.
because the button is just like not YOLO jamming sevens or whatever. Like, whereas online, it's like, you know, I see people just jam sixes in this spot, you know.
Yeah.
And because they're shortish and they have a pair and they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not that often, but for sure, you know, you can't be so sure that there's going to be a tight range. And you know, the other guy's just open. I mean, it's like, okay, whatever. If he's got a monster, it's just, you know, it's bad luck.
Yeah, just GG. Okay, well, I'm not going to click any other buttons so that we can take some bets on the buttons shoving range.
See what we do here.
I'm pretty sure I'd be jamming this. I can't imagine just calling.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't want to click any others just in case it suddenly pops up.
We need to know if he calls or not, right?
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, no, phew.
Okay.
Right, nothing happened. Okay, so...
Right then, Jack, what's the forfeit?
Oh, okay. What forfeit?
Yeah.
What?
You know, if we're gonna have a bet, we're gonna do what? How are we gonna work this? We're gonna try and guess the buttons range, and then whoever's closest is gonna win, and the loser's gonna do a forfeit.
I think buttons hand specifically is better.
Yeah, I think because if we say range and he's got aces, everyone's correct.
I don't understand how you're going to figure this out.
Me neither.
Let's just do hands. Who wants to go for? I'll go last, so I don't mind.
I'm in with 9-9.
9-9, okay.
I'm going to say ace queen suited.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
I'm gonna go ace king.
Oh no, you've got all the better ones with more combos.
I'm going to go I'm going to go for
But he's
last.
gone suited though. That's a little bit of a negative 3 one.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. I'm going to go for the YOLO sixes because I said it earlier. And
Nice.
I want to be proven right that people do have sixes here sometimes.
I'm gonna go for the Nigels. Benny, what did you?
Pairs just like this. Feel like I'm not giving myself enough EV. I'm gonna go with
Highest EV choice, clearly king.
Ace.
Ace king, right?
Someone said
I've
ace
gone-
king there.
I've gone ace king.
Unlucky, mate.
Okay. then whatever's close to that, king
Go
queen.
ace king suited.
Benny's going with king queen.
Annie, what are you going with?
King queen.
King queen.
No, I don't think it's that. But
Yeah, you know, you actually played this hand.
He hasn't got sixes, has he?
Oh, it's not nines.
We beat tens and ace king. Big ace king.
Yes.
Oh, who said tens?
Gazellig.
I
I
did.
said nines.
I said tens.
Gaza. I feel that's a such.
Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, well, we've gone over. Jack, we'll send you the extra bonus fee in the mail to Tbilisi. Yeah, just want to shout out all the guys on the call. Thank you very much for joining us, Jack. It's been a pleasure. Really, some great wisdom. Thank you very much for joining us. I know that some people, when we said we were going to be reviewing today with the famous British final tablist of the main event, they were probably expecting John Hesp, but I think you were the next best thing. So, yeah, that's great, Jack. Thank you very much.